Hey there, it's Miriam with Mobile Geeks, and I'm here at Mobile Congress 2017 with the Nokia 6. Yes, this is the first of 3 Nokias I'm going to show you today. This is the kind of higher end of the 3. It's a mid-range phone though. Nokia 6 was launched in China late last year and now is available, or going to be soon available, in Western markets with Google Play services. So this is a 5.5-inch 1080p display. It's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 430 on board and 3 gigs of RAM with 32 gigs of storage. And there's also an option on the black one for 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. The back here is a 16 megapixel autofocus camera. There's a 8 megapixel front-facing camera as well. And yeah, it's a pretty sexy device. This is machined out of one solid block of aluminum. As you can see, this one's kind of like this rose-ish gold color. Really feels amazing in hand, feels really beautiful. There is obviously some hardware buttons and a fingerprint reader, and also if you see the fingerprint reader right here. And then on top here you get, you know, the usual things, earpiece, that aforementioned 8 megapixel camera. Headphone jack, thankfully that's not gone. SIM tray here on the left hand side, micro USB at the bottom of course, and power lock key and volume rocker here on the right. So basically standard layout. You can see a pretty stock looking version of Android running on this beast. It's Nougat obviously from the app tray. You can see that very clearly here. It's a nice phone. It feels really good in hand. Pretty nice. It's about 8mm thick. So that's the Nokia 6 in a nutshell. Let's now switch to the Nokia 5. So this is the Nokia 5, and it's still made of unibody machined aluminum. So it's a little downgrade from the 6, but not much. It has a 5.2-inch 720p display, this one. And it still has a Snapdragon 430, but it has a reduction of RAM and storage to 2 gigs and 16 gigabyte respectively. The camera has also been bumped down from 16 megapixel down to 13 megapixel, but you still get the 8 megapixel camera in the front right up here, and you still get the fingerprint reader right down there. Again, hardware buttons, pretty much a stock implementation of Android, very nice, as you can see here. This is obviously running Nougat, and it feels really nice in hand, just like the 6 did. So this is a Nokia 5, micro USB again at the bottom, a headphone jack on top as you'd expect, and then a power lock key on the right hand side, and a SIM tray on the left. It's very much the same layout as its slightly bigger sibling, with just a few more downrated specs. And this here is the Nokia 3. It is kind of the lower end of the 3 Nokia models running Android. Also unibody metal on the edges, which is great, but it does have a plastic back cover, soft touch. This kind of reminds me actually of the Lumia 925. And yeah, it feels, again, these 3 phones feel really great in hand. Now this is downgraded, 5-inch display, 720p. It has a MediaTek 6737 on board. It's a quad-core chip. 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage. No more fingerprint reader here. It does have hardware keys though. It still has an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, but in the back it's been downgraded to also just 8 megapixels. So there you have it, the Nokia 3, the Nokia 5, the Nokia 6. This is kind of exciting seeing these Nokia phones running Android here at Mobile Congress 2017. Stay tuned for more from us. Cheers.